Okay, well, might as well. What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla vs. Kong spoiler discussion already. We are so far away from the movie. Why are we doing spoiler discussions already? God damn it. I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people with this video. I do. As we go through the news today, you'll know why. But for those of you who don't know the news, get out of here. Run. Just go. Be gone. Thought? Full spoiler warning for Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't know if we'll call them major spoilers, but potentially massive spoilers for Godzilla vs. Kong. That's what I'll say. And then I want to cover some ground rules. Of course, chapter time's in the description below. If you want to skip me warning you, you can skip me. The warning I'm going to give is that this changes nothing. It changes nothing, okay? You send me a leak, you're gonna get blocked. That is the rule. Do not send me leaks. Ever. Not a good idea. You will get blocked. That's the ground rule. This doesn't change anything. So I guess I could talk about why I'm covering this. I'm covering this because this was something that I stumbled across on my own. This didn't get sent to me by anybody. I stumbled across these on my own, and so I'm the only person to blame here. And I wasn't exactly upset with this reveal because it had already been ruined. I can't really get upset about the same exact news twice. You know, for context, I couldn't get mad at Jakks Pacific 2 times in a row for showing us burning Godzilla. There's some comparisons. That being said, I can still be upset if I get spoilers related. So the Jakks Pacific one was a good example. I can still be upset about Jakks Pacific knowing about it, and then time goes on and, you know, Jakks Pacific burning Godzilla becomes the norm. We all know about it. And then let's say SH Monster Arts were to release their burning Godzilla ahead of schedule and all of a sudden spoil it. Then I still wouldn't want anything to do with that burning Godzilla. So in relation to these figures, just because I've seen these, just because we're going to address them, doesn't mean you can feel free to send me spoilers regarding the situations that we're going to be discussing, the figures we're going to be discussing, you know, that kind of idea. I don't know how to word it. If you send me stuff, you're going to get blocked. That's the bottom line at the end of the day. But there are some Godzilla vs. Kong figure reveals coming from Playmates Toys that we will talk about. Again, same rules apply with the last time we covered stuff like this, and I feel it's important to mention because a lot of people will be confused and upset about this. I cannot show the images on screen. I don't care if your favorite YouTuber who isn't me, who covers Godzilla news, shows these and gets away with it. That is none of my concern. As someone who has a working relationship with these studios, I will not be showing any of these images. In order to maintain that relationship, in order to make sure my video doesn't get taken down, none of the images will be shown in this video, but we will be discussing them nonetheless. So I will be using substitute pictures, and you're just gonna have to live with it. All right, let's jump into the Godzilla vs. Kong figure stuff coming from Playmates. Once again, spoiler warning. The first thing I find interesting here is the absence of Mechagodzilla. We do not see any Mechagodzilla figures. I do not know why we don't see any Mechagodzilla figures. I'm very happy we don't. I don't want to see much more of that design than we've already seen. I didn't even want to see that design in the first place. But again, I can't necessarily be mad about the Mechagodzilla reveal, as that was something I've had spoiled for me for about a year now, over a year now. Yeah, it's been over a year, for sure been over a year at this point. So that's something I can't necessarily be exactly upset with, that it got spoiled for me in the figures. But the rest of this stuff is general stuff. We'll run through these here, starting out with Godzilla, the king of the monsters. And if you don't know what this is, the box art for the Godzilla King of the Monsters Playmates figures has been revealed, along with some display photos of them. So the box art for these figures is pretty revealing, but also I think gives us a good sign. I don't know, I think it gives us some good indications here. One thing that I want to say is that the box art actually looks really cool. I really like it. I like the Godzilla vs. Kong logo they're using. I think that's a cool logo. I love the rework of the banner. It's the same banner we've seen 10 billion times, although this time we're seeing some slight variation on it that I think is actually really cool. It's also got a destroyed city in the same vein as that banner. The destroyed city is all blue with a red fire. Pretty cool. I like the neon aesthetic of this stuff a lot. And then the first figure we have here is a Godzilla. I don't know if it's a 6-inch. I don't know if it is a 12-inch. I don't know how big this Godzilla figure is, but it is a Godzilla, King of the Monsters looking Godzilla. So it's got the same dorsal fins as he had in King of the Monsters. They might be slightly different, but they are very very similar. So it's not a total reworking of the dorsal fins like a lot of people were anticipating. It's very similar dorsal fins to what we saw in Godzilla King of the Monsters. They are all blue, so this Godzilla is an atomic breath Godzilla. He's got all blue dorsal fins and he comes with an atomic breath. I think that's awesome. That really gets me excited for the Playmates figures. I'm excited to get some accessories with them, and I'm still holding out hope that Playmates will deliver some great figures because these are officially licensed, being worked on by Warner Brothers Legendary. They're involved in this process. I don't think they're just going to pump out bootleg trash like they did with their Shin Godzilla. I think this one actually looks decent. The Godzilla comes with battle damage, as I mentioned. His chest comes off and he's got this big red exposed part, so it looks like he just gets this massive chunk torn away. I'm sure some people will take this as a spoiler, thinking, oh my god, Kong is going to tear Godzilla's chest off, exposing tons of flesh underneath it. No, I don't actually think we're going to see anything even remotely similar to this in Godzilla vs. Kong. I think this is simply just a gimmick for the toy. This is something that I don't know if Playmates specifically, but toy companies in general have been doing for a long time, specifically with Jurassic Park figures. Battle damage Jurassic Park figures are nothing new. We have seen them for a long time and they never reflect what happens in the movie. You never get the battle damage Jurassic Park figure and you remove the piece and go, oh yeah, I remember in the movie when he gets this giant chunk of his neck torn off. Never happens. Same thing applies here with Godzilla. I don't think Godzilla's gonna get his chest ripped away. I just don't see that happening. It's simply a gimmick for the figure, which is good. Playmates, hopefully, is doing a lot of gimmicks with their figures, as we'll talk about here in a bit. The next figure is King Kong. Now this one does come with a spoiler, but it also comes with another gimmick. So this Kong, I don't know if he is a 6-inch or 12-inch Kong. I'm gonna assume this one's a 6-inch Kong. It is not the same sculpt that they used for their Kong Skull Island figure. It's not the same sculpt that they used for either Kong Skull Island figure. This isn't the small Kong and this isn't the large Kong. This is a brand new sculpt, which gets me excited. Articulation actually looks really good on this guy, significantly better than what we saw on the Godzilla King of the Monsters figure. This Kong looks very angry. He's got massive scars up the chest. He's got the beard, looking good. But this Kong also comes with a battle damage aesthetic piece to him. This one comes on his arm. It is on his right arm, so you can tear off a huge chunk of his right arm, exposing flesh underneath. Once again, I don't think that's an indication that we will see Kong get his right arm torn apart in Godzilla vs. Kong. I think that's an indication that this company wants to do gimmicks with their toys, and so they are doing a battle damaged version of Kong the same way they did a battle damaged version of Godzilla. It is interesting to note that Kong has less battle damage than Godzilla, but I don't think that's going to have any relevance to the story. The reason I mentioned this one is a little bit of a spoiler figure is because this one does come with King Kong's axe, which is something we discussed in length in the previous Godzilla vs. Kong toy video, so I don't really want to repeat myself. My feelings on it haven't changed. I think it's very dumb. I don't know why on earth Kong needs an axe. I just think it is too unrealistic. It's too cartoony. It feels like something you would see in a cartoon and not like something you would see in the Monsterverse, which is my big problem with it. But again, it all comes down to how they execute it. I'm just saying, simply in concept, I don't like it. Now, the axe itself looks like a giant club, but at the end of that giant club, there is what appears to be some shard sticking straight through it, which is the axe part of the axe. This is made from what I presume to be stone. This does look like stone to me. It's very blue and it's got these ridges in it. I've seen some people speculating that this is a dorsal fin of Godzilla's. I don't think it's a dorsal fin. It doesn't look anything like the dorsal fins we saw on the Godzilla figure. I don't know. It just doesn't have that look to it at all. This appears to be stone. I think it's going to be built from a rock, from a mountain or something. I think Kong's going to use that and he's going to tie it all together because he's just that smart. I think that Kong in this movie is just going to be that smart that he's going to be able to put together something like this. But yeah, Kong has an axe in this new movie apparently, or at least maybe that's another gimmick. Maybe it is, but I do think that the axe will be in the movie. The next two are very interesting. I don't exactly know what to say about them. These figures I believe are larger. I don't think these two figures are their 6-inch figures. I believe these ones are 12-inch figures. These are potential spoilers, a Mega Kong and a Mega Godzilla. We'll start with Mega Kong because there is significantly less to unpack there. Now, Mega Kong is MEGA Kong. It comes with different motions. So this Kong, his arm punches up and it seems his other arm punches side to side. So this Kong comes with the same kind of gimmicks that we came to know and love with Playmates King Kong 2005 line. It is interesting to note the differences between this Kong and their normal Kong. And the differences are this Kong is beefy. This is a big boy figure. I'm not saying he's larger or taller. There's no real way to tell. I am saying he's fatter, significantly fatter. Not in terms of like he's got a beer belly, but in terms of he is thick all the way around compared to how he used to be. It looks like they took that Kong and buffed him up significantly. Again, I don't think that has any story implications. I don't think in the movie someone's gonna give Kong super soldier serum and he's gonna come out of the chamber looking like Captain America. I don't think that's gonna happen. I simply think that this is just a figure. I think that maybe they buffed him up so that they could have some more room to work with the arm gimmicks, because this Kong, of course, will have some arm mechanics, and there's got to be some way to control those. So I think this Kong is buffed up for that reason, and also to differentiate him from the normal Kong so that they could sell a Mega Kong variant. As for Mega Godzilla, this is one that we discussed in length in the last videos as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I don't think this is a spoiler figure as we once thought it was. This appears to be a gimmick figure. As we know, Playmates is doing lots of gimmicks with these figures. This one has a try me button on him. I'm not sure what this try me button does, if it makes him roar or what. I have no idea. I think this figure is a gimmick figure. I'm hoping it's a gimmick figure, but if it's not, it's Godzilla with battle armor. I don't know why on earth Godzilla would need battle armor and not Kong. Godzilla definitely could beat Kong without battle armor. I don't know why Godzilla would need armor to take on Kong, but there are dorsal fin enhancements, I'll call them, or maybe, as I discussed in my last video, they're dorsal fin inhibitors. Maybe they restrict his atomic use. The reason I don't think that's the case is because this Godzilla still does come with an atomic beam effect. This one is smaller than the other one. It's significantly thinner, so I don't know if we can say one way or another with that. It actually looks just like the one that came with the NECA Godzilla 2019. But yeah, he's got this weird red armor. It covers his gills. It goes across his body. It has parts that lean onto his legs and has parts that latch onto his shoulders, and then it does stick off above his dorsal fins. Some people speculated in the last video that his dorsal fins were going to get destroyed, they were going to get blown up, and that these were going to be replacement dorsal fins. This image here reveals that they are not replacement dorsal fins. They simply go over his dorsal fins, which maybe leads a little more into the idea that they're a power inhibitor. Maybe they are stopping his atomic use. Maybe that's the reason the beam is thinner, is because it's not as powerful as the other beam, which is significantly thicker. Maybe that's why they cover his gills as well. I don't know. I think it'd be weird if it's a power inhibitor to have Godzilla with blue dorsal fins, blue eyes, and an atomic breath beam still. I would think if it was a power inhibitor, he wouldn't have any of that. But ultimately, I'm going to hold out hope that this is simply a gimmick for the figures and nothing more. On to our final set here. We have some little images. We've got one of Godzilla firing the atomic breath, which is a picture of the other Godzilla, the first one we talked about in this video. We have another image of the smaller Kong. It appears to be not the Mega Kong. He's got the open fist, and he's got a little bit of a different face sculpt than the Mega Kong. And then we've got a skull crawler here. Now, I've seen some people mention that this skull crawler has spines on his arms. He's got right on the elbows, he's got big spikes. I don't think that means this is going to be another Ramarak. If you look at the back doesn't look anything like the Queen skull crawler. I think this one's going to be like a mid-range skull crawler in between the infant stage and the big one stage, the one we saw at the end of Kong Skull Island. But I am excited to get a skull crawler figure. It does not look like we have a lot of articulation with it, which is a little bit disappointing, but you get what you get, right? Finally, we have our brand new kaiju. This is a brand new one. We did discuss this in the last video, but it was impossible to tell what it is. Looking at it now, we get its name. We get the official name for the new kaiju that will be appearing in Godzilla vs. Kong, named Nozuki. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Nozuki? I don't know, but I'm gonna say Nozuki. Now, Nozuki is what appears to be a King Cobra type kaiju. He's got a snake body, and then at the top, he's got a big head with large red frills. Some people have speculated this is gonna be some ultra boss, the world serpent that Godzilla and Kong are gonna have to team up against to fight. I don't think that's the case. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I don't think Godzilla and Kong are gonna team up against some world serpent in the movie. I would anticipate this will be something similar to Scylla, Behemoth, the Muto. You know, in King of the Monsters, we did not just get the main four Toho kaiju. We got additional monsters on top of that. I think this is Playmates capitalizing on the fact that the Monsterverse has new monsters. I think this will be a new monster we see, whether it be in a flashback to the Mass Awakening or maybe an exploration of the Hollow Earth. I have no idea, but I think this new monster is going to be only used for a brief amount of time, probably a cameo similar to what we saw with Behemoth, or at least that's what I'm hoping, because Lord knows I do not want Godzilla and Kong to team up in this film. This one also appears to have some sort of gimmick. I think he can fire one of his frills, but it does not look like this has any articulation, so you kind of get gypped with this guy, but we'll just have to wait to see what they do with it. I don't know, guys. That is my in-depth discussion of the brand new Playmates Godzilla vs. Kong figures that have been revealed, leaked, whatever the hell they've been. I don't know. They are ultimately going to get revealed before the movie comes out at the end of the day. That is something we are going to have to prepare ourselves for. These are going to come out before the movie comes out, so as much as it pains me, as much as I do not like that we're getting spoilers in the figures already, at the same time, I know for a fact that they're gonna come eventually. We're gonna get this all ruined for us eventually. Just as long as like plot spoilers aren't getting ruined for me, just as long as things like that, I'm gonna still try and hold out hope and be happy. but as for this video, I'm not upset, as I'm sure a lot of people anticipated I would be. I just wanted to discuss this stuff with you guys and let you know what I think of it all. And let me know what you guys think of it all. What do you guys think of all this stuff? Do you like it? Are you having similar opinions on these figures as I am, or what? I don't know. Let me know down below. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man, out.